So I was thinking of the teachings on the kindness of sentient beings who were my mother since beginningless time, as we just had a forum Chenrezig retreat. So I think some of you all have seen me driving around Abbey in a car, in a truck. So I thought of how when we drive, there is a driving manual. When we study, there are books, there are cookbooks, but there is never a book to tell you how to be a perfect mother. So even though there's no book to teach us how to be a perfect mother, but the kindness of mothers that we have received is always tremendous. Like they are willing to protect us even at the cost of their lives. So during the evacuation, we were split to many places. And it showed me the interdependence between the monastics and the lay persons, how impermanent things were, not taking things for granted, being appreciative and grateful for whatever that we have now. So when I see the kindness of others, especially during this evacuation, my eyes really watered a few times. Like they were so kind to us. Venerable Sotram was running around, coming back with all our things. The ops teams were ready. And Venerable cared for us via the Zoom. Everyone was supporting each other. And that really touched me. So of course, we do not just say, oh, we are just touched, and we help by doing a bit of offering service here and there. And one incident that really left a big impact was that the host actually told us that, oh, we are going on vacation next week. If anything happens, here is our house key. Feel free to come back. And I was like, huh? What do I do with this? And she's like, yeah, just come back if you all need to. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know how to react to that, but I just, okay. And then I just gave a blank face. But I was really deeply touched by her kindness and just appreciating what she has done for us throughout the whole stay. So I also observed a lot of us supporting and encouraging each other throughout this period. And whether we are at the Abbey or we are outside, there's just support and there's just bonding between us, and that's really nice because it's only when monastics praise monastics, then the Dharma will start to flourish. So I felt that that was really good. And then, so during the evacuation, the place I stayed had this treadmill. So I was running on it, as usual. And then I was thinking about the Dharma. So I was trying to play with categorizing people into friends, enemies, and strangers. So I could see, like, in the mind, there are 3 boxes. How do I shift people here and there? What will it look like if they are enemy? Oh, they'll start screaming at me. And then the other one, they are so gentle to me, but they are usually so fierce. Oh gosh. And I was just having some fun with it. So the conclusion that I came out was all these people have been my mother since beginningless time, and how they have been kind to me in many different ways. So I went back to the book 5, which is the Library of Wisdom and Compassion, and I could see the difference. I started to see a difference in equanimity and being indifferent. So when it's very indifferent, your heart feels cold, it feels tight. And equanimity is when you are able to open to others. You feel this sense of warm-heartedness with them. And they are more endearing. You don't see them like a stranger or an enemy. So for the 7-point cause and effect, of course, there are 7 steps. So I try to remember the kindness of others when, buttons are being pushed when you stay in a closed place. Sometimes, buttons will just get pushed. And then I start to see that, oh, actually they have been kind to me in this way, that way, and just don't see that fault at that moment. So I thought that was really nice. And also that I start to see people in different view, like, oh, you have been my mother previously. Wow. Oh, Moon Xiao, you have been my mom previously. And it's like kind of full. It's like, oh, Tenzin, you are my dad. Wow. It's like I start to see the kindness for them. And then I went on to think about the exchanging self and others, about how people who are affected by the fire now, the animals, the insects, we are so fortunate, but how about them? So I try to take on their suffering, but of course, we can't. If not, the Bodhisattvas and Buddhas would have already done that for us. So not to go into the state of depression or anything, but just have this feeling that, okay, I know you're suffering, and I breathe in, and then when I breathe out, I give all my kindness to them. So that was what I was trying to do during that period of time. And then I start to see that as you slowly do that, when others act out, I could start to hold them with more compassion. You don't start criticizing people, you don't start judging them. Of course, the habits will still come up, but the second thought will be, hey, they are suffering too. Why do I need to be judgmental about it? I can hold them with a sense of more compassion. I could relate to them better. So I should give them space instead of going towards them with that kind of attitude or avoidance. So I was also monitoring my mind, like if I could start catching things like, am I prepared for death? When the time of death arrives, am I ready to be out of liberation? No. So why do I want to keep picking on all those? Focus on my mind and really check things up. So so when I start to do this, I also start to realize that there is no inherently fixed Dronsel. So I don't see people like, oh, you are inherently like that. You are always like that. You have this habit, so it will never change. That's not true. People change all the time. They improve all the time. And it's like, I start to think of this mala beat because we were doing a lot of Chenrezig mantra, the 6 syllables mantra during the retreat. So it's like a mala beat. When you start chanting, you turn the mala beats inwards. It's like doing introspective awareness, like being mindful of our own minds instead of going outwards. And then also, a mala beat is cycle. So it reminds me that I need to get out of cyclic existence. And then so also like the mala bead, when we pull each beads together, it's like rubbing like a rock tumbler. So the more we rub, the brighter it will go. So many causes and conditions that allow us to be here today. So how many people actually have these 8 fortunes, these 10 opportunities of this precious rebirth? So this was throughout my mind during the evacuation. And then when I come back, of course, there will be a shift, and I could see this shift happening also in the mind. It's like, I would say, a sense of groundedness, maturity. There's this self, but this sense of, I want to break this self. How do I break it? I want to break it not because I just, oh, I don't want this anymore, it's too suffering, but I know how every sentient being feel, and I want to do it because of them. This is a beep, 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 beep samsara, so I want to get out of it. So so this view of seeing things from causes and conditions, not seeing people so fixed, so tight, actually really helps. And also this sense of they call it 上求佛道，下化众生, which means to seek the path of Buddhahood above and to benefit sentient beings below. It's like our palms when we do our prostrations. You want to go upwards, and then at the same time we want to benefit beings. So that's was how I was feeling, especially when we go out on the walks. The roads really make a difference, and it really inspires people. It just gives a whole feel of a different feeling. It can't be expressed in just words like that. So another shift that I'm starting to see is the sense of wanting to work this mind so that I can influence others. Like how will it benefit their mind instead of just me, mine, and I. So and also the more I practice, the more humility that I should have. And Gershila really led a very great example when we were with him. He really showed us like, how does a Geshe really behave, how humility he was, how helpful, and he's always ready to help us, even though he was so busy. So and thank you very much, Gershila, like to help us and then to really let us see that harmony is really important. And when I start to see like, oh, I want to do this now, I want to do that now, other people get a chance and I'm like, no chance again, Johnson. And then, but recently I've been starting to see like, okay, they have a chance to do it and they are happy. Why not rejoice in that? They are happy and that's good. It's really done hard, but it's doable. There are few small encounters that I start to see that happening, but slow steps, not a very big jump yet. And also, the ropes make a very big difference because when I was playing with kids during one of the walk, they were really curious and they were inspired and they were asking a lot of questions like, you have no hair. Are you a boy or a girl? Why are they in red? Red is my favorite color. And I'm like, wow. Yeah. So yeah, so this situation of this adversity really helped me to see, to appreciate this community, to appreciate everyone's practice, and to know myself deeper. Like, oh, you throw me into the sea, I'll swim. When I can't swim, please open your mouth and ask, Dronsel. And also like, place harmony in front of all your wants. You want your idea, you want your this, everything you want. How are you going to get off samsara if you're so self-centered, I would say? Just slowly let it go bit by bit. Seeing others happy, having this harmonious society is so much better. So I will continue to do that and then continue to study to see this true nature that Venerable taught yesterday. And thank you once again for all of you all being here, spending your weekends here to offer service to the Abbey, and then maybe continue to inspire others by practicing well and yeah, sending the kindness out as well. Thank you.